Hey everybody. Listen, it's 7 o'clock. Actually, it's probably about 7:03 Texas time. California time, it is only 5:03 in the afternoon. Listen everybody, call your friends, call your loved ones, call people that you know, people you don't know, and tell them that it's time to grandstand. Mother Theresa is here, coming live from Pasadena, California. Yes, grab your snacks, your favorite snack, maybe your favorite drink. Got my bottle of water here. All right, everybody. Are you enjoying this music? Courtesy of TJ Culpepper, my grandson. Yes. I'm giving y'all a little bit of time. I cannot see the people that are on, so I'm gonna need for you to at least say hello in the comments. My YouTubers that's gonna watch this a little bit later, make sure that you put a comment in the chat box. Alrighty, we're getting ready to grandstand. Hey everybody, it's Mother Theresa here. I hope that you have had a great evening so far. Let me just tell you that I absolutely have. Hey mama, Annette, we miss you all too. Can't wait to see you all. Bring me a souvenir. Absolutely, daughter. I will bring you something. Hey Eb, hello, how are you? Tell your mom that we said hello, and my sister Cynthia said, good evening, grandstanders. Yes. Let me tell y'all a little bit. My sister Cynthia, I'm going to say just a little bit. Listen, my thing keeps kind of pulling down a little bit, so it may be leaning a little bit. But let me just tell you all, the music that I am playing is called In the Meantime. My grandson wrote this music for me, and let me just tell you all, this music is in honor of my sister Cynthia. It's called In the Meantime because this is what I have promised that I will do, is that in the meantime, I will continue believing, I will continue praying, I will continue putting you up before God. And let me just tell you that in the meantime, we'll play until I see my sister Cynthia again. Listen, everybody. So listen, in the meantime is whatever your meantime is. I know what my meantime is. So that music, TJ had no idea when he wrote that music for me that I would be using it. And it debuted on January the 7th. And I have been playing it ever since. So here's to you, Cynthia. I love you. All right, everybody. Hey, Kathleen, how are you? That's my classmate. I'm so glad you joined us on tonight. Listen, for you, those of you all that is the first time joining us, I want you all to know that I grandstand every Tuesday night, if it's the Lord's will. And I talk about the grand things that's happening, not only in my life, but in the lives of those that are around me. And so I talk about the different things that's happening in my life. I talk about the different things that's happening in the lives of those that are connected to me. And hey, if you give me your story, I don't mind sharing your story. So, but tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about empty nesters. And some of the things that come along with being an empty nester, like being able to take an extended vacation, like my son just told me. But we're not fully empty nesters right now. We are partially empty nesters. So let me just tell you all, I will give you all an example of what happened when my first daughter, Rhianetris, we call her Net, she's also the author of Seasoned for Purpose, not only the Seasoned for Purpose book, but Seasoned for Purpose, the 52-week guided journal. Both can be found on Amazon. All right, that's my daughter Net. So if you don't have it, go and get it. But let me tell you what happened when the reality set in for me that my daughter, that we were beginning to be an empty nester. At that time, hey Alma, I think Al Marie is here. So glad to have you on tonight. But let me tell you, the reality began to set in that I was soon to be an empty nester when my daughter went away. My daughter Net went away to college. One night I was sitting there waiting for her in the living room. And I was just waiting, because I was thinking, it sure is taking Net a long time to come home from work. And I sat there and I really wasn't thinking about the fact that she was not there, that she was actually away in college. And then all of a sudden it hit me. She's not coming home. Net is in Tyler in school. She's in college. And let me tell you all, I had not cried when I took my daughter. Again, for those who, if it's your first time, thank you. This is where we talk about real life, real faith, and real encouragement. And so anybody who is at my age, you probably are staring at an empty house, okay? And if you're not, you probably soon will be if you have children that are of age to be leaving the nest. Well, what I want you to understand is that you have been preparing your children for this time. You have been pouring into them what God has given you, what God has ordained you to do. He has given you all those different things to support your children, to make them good people, to make them love God, love themselves, love other people, to be good, productive citizens in our society. So at some point, you got to release them. They can't stay with you forever. Well, I say that. My son is 21 and he's still at the house. And let me just tell you, I love my son. I love my daughters. But my son is such a help to me. Not that my girls were not, but he is such a help to me. And literally, we hardly ever see him. He occupies the whole upstairs, and he calls it, or we call it, his apartment. Now, William is upstairs. He takes care of the upstairs. There are other bedrooms up there. There's a full living room. There's a theater room. Everything that's upstairs, pretty much, and the bathrooms, he takes care of them. And so he goes upstairs. He does what he needs to do. When it's time to go to work or whatever he's doing, he leaves out. He lets us know that where he's going. Hello there, Cousin Jackie. We are definitely praying for you. Definitely praying for you. And so I'm so glad that you tuned in on tonight. For those that know the word of prayer, please pray for Jackie Preston and her family, her young man. She recently lost her husband. And so we definitely want to keep you in our prayers. I'm so glad you joined in with us on tonight. So as I was stating, my son William can definitely stay as long as he would like. Now, my husband kind of looking at me like, I don't know about that. But let me tell you, when you have good children, when you have raised them right, when they are respectful, when they, contribute to taking care of things at the house, when they are not a nuisance, let me just put it like that, you don't mind them staying around, okay? And let me just tell you, I am so looking forward to Will getting married and moving out and doing his own thing. But in the meantime, he is just fine where he's at, okay? So, but let me just go back and talk a little bit about when those kids get ready to leave the nest, because guess what I said? You've been preparing them to leave your home. And so, and one of the things that I also know is that as parents, it is our responsibility, again, like I said, is that we have to prepare them. We have to make sure. I see somebody, Jackie said, children are a gift from God. Absolutely, yes, they are. We have to prepare them because we don't want to send them out unprepared. And let me just tell you, my son has had a perfect role model. I would say perfect. He is definitely striving. My husband is striving for perfection. but he has had a role model of how to take care of his family. My husband has shown him what a husband should do, how a husband operates, how a man operates, how a man takes care of his family. I love you, honey. You're doing a great job. So he's taught him. Not only has he taught him those things, but he's also given him firsthand example, and he has modeled that for him. He has shared with him, these are the ways you take care of your wife, but these also are the way you take care of your children. And then also, how do you take care of your sisters? Because you are the only male. You are the only male. And so you are the youngest male, but you have some responsibilities. So that's what we have to do with our children, is we have to make sure. Hello there, nephew Gene. Yes, stay Will and save your money. You're absolutely right. And Gene, that's exactly what he's doing. Because every single time that we ask Will to, hey Will, are you going out? Are you going to get anything or whatever? Will will say, sure, I'll get it for you. But then his daddy gives him the credit card and he doesn't refuse it. So Will is saving his money. He is stacking his coins, as people like to say. But let me just go back and share with you all with this. Is that I say all of this, but let me just tell you that the silence hits different when your kids are leaving. Because let me tell you, it hit me when Ned left, and my husband is shaking his head. It hit me when Ned left, but it really hit me when my baby girl Candace left, okay? When Candace left, now, Candace is louder than Ned, okay? Ned is quiet. I don't know if Candace is even on here tonight, but Candace is loud. Now, she may say she's not, but Candace would walk around the house always singing. And her daddy would often say, because Ned and I would say, Candace, can you please be quiet? And she was upstairs. Yes, my honey just reminded me. Candace would be upstairs and we could hear her. Now, Ned was right across the hall from her, but we could hear her always singing. And you know what my husband would say? Y'all leave her alone. She's just expressing herself. So, but let me tell you, even though that kind of aggravated me, because it was always the noise, I say the noise, but what started to bother me and what I prayed before Candace was leaving and before I realized I was pregnant with Will, one of the saddest things that I felt in my spirit and in my heart is that, Ned said loud, one of the things that I said to myself and I said to God, I said, God, there will be no more music in my house. And y'all, that hit me like a ton of bricks because I love music. For those of you all who know, and I think Mom is on here, that my father was a musician. And so music is in my blood. I absolutely love to hear music. And I like all kinds of music, you all. I really do. Now gospel is my favorite, but I can listen to country. I can listen to R&B. I can listen to any of that. Now, I don't like the trap music. I don't like, rap and whatever. But if it's, whatever, I can listen to it. Love instrumental music. Absolutely love the violin music. So I love music. But that was one of the things that hit me when I was thinking about my girls are leaving and it's going to be quiet in this house. And so, and God said, guess what? You ain't got to worry about that, because Will is coming and he's just as loud as Candace. So, but the noise and the silence can actually get to you. And so I want to prepare those of you all that may have children, have young children or middle-aged children or children that are getting ready to leave the house. It hits me now that they leave to go to their Gigi's and Poppy's house. I'd be ready for a break, but then get get one and miss them terribly. You're right, Ebony. You will definitely miss them when they are gone and you're ready for a break. And it reminds me so much of Candace is saying, I need a break, I need a break. But I know when those kids are gone, I know Candace misses that noise. Because, baby, they bring the noise just like their mama did. They bring the noise just like their mama did. But let me go back to the noise, you all. One of the things that I will say is that we have to really be ready for the silence. And let me tell you, there's another part of that. For husbands and wives, like my husband and I, we've spent the last 2 days traveling. We spent 2 days traveling together, Saturday and Sunday, and we made it to our destination on Sunday night. But if you did not have a relationship with your spouse, and if everything was always about the children, then when it's time for you, just the two of you, to be together, you're going to be lost. You're not going to have anything to talk about. You're not going to have anything in common. If the only thing you had in common, whether were your children or are your children, listen, I don't know what I could have talked about for the last 2 days with my husband if we did not have a relationship, because you can only talk about the kids for so long. Somebody said they're ready for the silence. Yeah, that is deep. Yeah, Net, yeah. You say that, Net, but prepare yourself, okay, baby? Make sure that you and your spouse have built a relationship that it can sustain the empty nest, okay? And I feel like when you start thinking about that, start thinking about some conversations that you have to have. You have to have some conversations about retirement. You have to have some conversations about what if something happens to one of the other. Those are critical and crucial conversations that you should be, having. And also, one of the other things is, I said about raising children. You have raised your children for the last 18 to 20 years, and that's all that you have in common. I would say find a hobby, something that you enjoy doing by yourself, but also along with your spouse, okay? Find something that you both enjoy doing that you can do together, whether it's fishing, whether it's going to sit, by the water, walking, playing sports, whatever it is. Find something that you all both can enjoy together. And not only that, but make sure that you are that quality. Make sure it's not just spending time together for the sake of spending time together, but make it quality. Make it a quality time together. Now listen, I don't know if my mom is on here because I haven't seen her pop up. I haven't seen Miracle. So somebody please check on my mom and make sure that she is awake. She probably thought, well, since Theresa's on vacation, she may not come on. But Mama, I'm here. I'm here. So as I begin to wrap up, and let me tell you, my 30 minutes go by so fast. I want to just kind of, just let my mom know, and that's why I wanted to know if she was on here. Because, Mom, I want you to know, and if you're not watching it, but if you could come on later, I want you to know that all of your preparation for the 8 children that you gave birth to, that coming to the place where you are an empty nester, it is a bittersweet place. And I talked about this with my daughter and my husband a couple of weeks ago. And I remember something that my mom said to us, and it was so profound that I think it was too profound for us to even understand it at that time, okay? My mom told us, she said, and this has been several years ago, she said, I want you all to start spending time on the holidays with just your family. I need you all to start making memories together. And I was like, well, let me just tell you, that was a burden, and I say a burden, being lifted because when you have several families, and I'm just going to use my husband's family for example. We would go to his mom's house, then we would go to his dad's house, and then we would go to my mom's house, and then we would try to do something at our house. And we would try to do all of those things in one day. If it was Christmas, we was trying to do all of those things at Christmas. If it was Thanksgiving, we were trying to do all of those things in one day. And let me just tell you, when you have young children, it could really take a toll on the kids. But not only that, what it also did, and especially with me being the girl, I was so used to spending so much of my childhood with my family, my mom, my brothers and sisters, my stepdad. So my heart was there. It was always wanting to be with my family. Boris, on the other hand, he grew up, he was used to spending time with either his mom or his dad in both of those two places. And so sometimes what would happen, it was like you were robbing one side of the family in order to get to the other. Not that you didn't love them, but that's where your comfort level. When I say I enjoy being with my family, my siblings, my nieces, my nephews, I love them. And, and one of the things about what mom made sure that we did where we were close together. We were close not only in age, but she always told us, or she modeled for us, to love one another, to take care of each other. And so because of that just, if you, and a lot of you all that are on here, you're my family. You're my family. Some of you all are extended family. Some of you all are, my blood relatives. And you all know how much we love to gather, to gather together. And that's what was put in us. That was what was taught to us. So as I get back to the empty nesters, you all, we have to realize, so thankful Robert and I had those crucial conversations. Yes, we travel with our family of 4, but also travel with just the 2 of you all. That is beautiful. And I know, Jackie, I know that means so much to you now. I know that it does, because let me just tell you, the memories and the conversations, the traveling that Boris and I do, and we try to do this as often as we have time, because it makes a difference. Because when you are an empty nester and those kids are gone, it makes a world of difference to have just that person to be able to say, okay, we're here. And even in Jackie's case, where her husband just recently died, she is holding on to those memories that they made together. Okay. So, and I know Anne-Marie was on here earlier, and she lost her husband, several years ago. But I know that they traveled together. I know that they had crucial conversations. I know that. And also, hey, mama. Hey, mama, I love you. Same thing with my mom when my stepdad died. Hello there, my Candace. There is adjustments that have to be made. And let me just tell you all, we're living life. And in life, we lose our loved ones. But God has given them to us for a season, for a period of time. And that's why we've got to love people like we don't know about tomorrow. Because let me just tell you, we absolutely do not. And as we are beginning to wrap things up, I just want you all to understand that about leaving time for one another. Making sure that you have built in that space for each other. And then also, as we are preparing, and let me just tell you all, the reason why I thought about this topic is because just before we checked in today, I called my son, and actually my son called me, and he said, hey, Ma, where are you? And I said, we're in Pasadena. He said, well, you were just in Bakersville. I said, yes. He said, well, why are you now in Pasadena? I said, because we want to get closer to the places that we are visiting. Going to the Sequoia National Park, and let me just tell you, that is a whole nother show. Going to the Sequoia National Park, we wanted to be closer, so we stayed in Bakersfield for 2 days. And now there are some things that we want to do in Pasadena, and then there are some things we want to do in Los Angeles. So we're just kind of moving around. And he said to me, he said, it must be nice to be able to do that. And I said, son, you know it really is. It really is. So I reminded him. Okay. Miracle. Hey, Miracle. I was looking for you. So and that reminded me of empty nesters. And of course, I just want to conclude, and I want to just say this. I want to ask God to restore, to refocus, to reignite everybody that's on here tonight. I want to ask God for a special blessing over, again, Jackie and her 2 sons, I think Chase and Clark. I want to ask God to really bless them and to cover them with prayer. I hope that you all understand that even though as parents, as our kids begin to leave the nest, that I want you to understand that even though they're gone from the house, and this is what I was going to say with Mom, that I understand that, and this is the conversation that I wanted my mom to hear, is that just like you told us to go and start making memories with our families, I had to come to the realization that it's now time for me to tell my girls that. And Boris and I talked about that a couple of days ago, and I'm not going to cry at the end of this thing. I'm not. But when you get used to having your kids with you, it is really, really hard on Mother's Day that you don't see them, on Father's Day that you don't see them. And so, Mom, I was thinking about you, and I said, my mom is a very wise, wise woman of God to give us that liberty and that freedom to stay at home and to make memories with our kids. Because now that we've done that miracle, now that I've done that, now my kids have kids. Now they have their own families. And so now, y'all, I was not going to cry about this. I was not going to cry about this. But I realized that as my kids, and even though I'm enjoying my vacation, I really am. And I am enjoying being able to spend time with my husband and just do the things that we have planned for, that we have worked for. But as your children, as you give them permission to start building their lives on their own, just know, Ned said, Mama, just know that it hits differently. And so, Mama, I thank you, because now, like I said, it's now time for me to tell my kids to do the same. And so with that being said, I'm going to tell you all, I cannot see all of the comments. I really cannot. And maybe that's a good thing that I cannot see them, because listen, I see myself just being a big old crybaby. But I'm so very thankful. I'm so very thankful for everybody who has came tonight to GrandStand. And again, like I said, I talk about the grand things that have happened in my life, and not just my life, but the lives of the people that are close to me. And as you all can see, if you did not know, that my husband and I, we are on vacation. We left on Saturday, headed west. Didn't say where we were going. I just said headed west. Our destination was California. My husband has always wanted to see the great sequoia trees. He's done that. We've been back in the mountains yet again. I got sick yet again. Y'all, I was so sick. But let me tell you, this is what you do when you love somebody. You do it, okay? So I want you all to take care and breathe. You're absolutely right, Ned. I'm good now. You know, sometimes those moments just hit you. But I love you all. I am so very grateful that you all stopped by on a Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock. It's 5 something here. On a Tuesday night at 7 o'clock to listen to me. For those of you all that are catching the replay, listen, I hope it's a blessing to you, just as it's been a blessing it's been a blessing to me to just be able to talk about certain things. And maybe this is more of therapy for me. Maybe this is more of therapy for me. But listen, if you've enjoyed it, I wanted the podcast. Oh, yes. Listen, y'all, let me tell y'all what my husband was trying to do. He told me that he was going to take my chair and set it on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And he wanted me to do a broadcast tonight from there. I said, honey, do you realize that it is the homeless people that are there? Not only the homeless people, but it's so many people that are there, that tourists and everything, they will look at me like I'm crazy. And I was like, honey, we cannot do that from there. Cannot, absolutely. So, but that is one of the places that we're going to try to visit very soon. But listen, if this has been a blessing to you all, I have a stand store now. Honey's going to put that in the chat. But if you would like to have a freebie, I'm not sure what I am going to offer, but I do have some free things in there, some things to encourage you. Okay, so he's put it in there. The stand store, the other Mother Theresa. So he's put that in the chat. I've got some freebies in there. Somebody said they'll walk around you. I don't know. I think they would probably try to take my chair, my camera, and all that kind of stuff. And say, yeah, the tourists or whoever. But anyway, go to my stand store. See, there's a couple of things that you might like to pick up. Some journals, some different things like that. I will be adding other things to there. But go there. If you would just put in your email address, it will automatically come to you all. Matter of fact, everybody that's still left on here, go ahead and log into the stand store and get that freebie. I think it's 5 days of encouragement. And then later in the week, I'm going to have some more free stuff in there. But go ahead and go in there now and see what you like. And so, as my sister Cynthia always loves to say, good night, grandstanders, and we will see you all on the next time. All righty, everybody. This is my grandson, TJ Culpepper. This is his music. If you need your own music, guess what? TJ can help you. All right. Good night, grandstanders. My honey joined me. What do y'all think about that video where he narrated earlier today? If you missed it, go to my Facebook. He narrated his own video. Listen, in a couple of more weeks, he's going to be my guest. I'm going to interview him. And it's on YouTube. Somebody said, my Lord. They said, hey, Daddy. I'm going to get him back on for y'all. Good night, grandstanders. Y'all enjoy your evening.